everybody, Gavin Shnieder here at Abode Real Estate. Today we're going to be talking about call tracking and how you can use call tracking to hold yourself and others accountable, as well as increase and optimize, the performance of your inbound phone calls. Before we get there, real quick, if you have any questions about our brokerage, you can click one of the links below and it'll take you to the career site. There's answers to all kinds of things on there, and it'll tell you a little bit more about us, or you can just reach out directly. Okay, so let's jump right into call tracking. So for those of you that don't know, call tracking is, simply the ability to route and record calls in a manner that you see fit, right? So we use call tracking primarily for inbound call routing so that we can measure what kind of call activity our lead sources are getting. So our signs and our websites and our postcards and all of those kind of lead gen sources, we use different phone numbers on, and then we can track, how many leads we're getting via those different lead sources. Now you can also use call tracking software to do voice and text broadcasts, inbound phone trees, all kinds of other, advanced bells and whistles features. Now today we're primarily going to talk about using it for inbound call routing. Okay, we use a product called CallFire, which is the website that's pulled up here. There are other products out there, but I'm going to quickly demonstrate how we use CallFire to route our inbound calls. So, real quick before we dig into the back end, I just wanted to show you kind of what it looks like using different phone numbers. So here's a picture of one of our for sale signs. This number that's on here, this is not my personal cell phone number. This is a CallFire tracking number. Same thing on our careers website. This phone number that is here, that's not my personal phone number. That's a different phone number used via CallFire. From a pricing perspective, just as an FYI, there's all kinds of different plans. We're on a light plan. It's $100 a month. It costs $2.50 to get every phone number. I think we have 15 or 20 phone numbers by now. But, we started on the pay-as-you-go, 5 cents a minute kind of a plan, and paid $10, $15, $20 a month. Okay, so let's jump into the back end here of our CallFire account. And I'm going to demonstrate just a couple of things for you. So, like I said, we have 15 or 20 numbers. And these numbers are assigned to different sources. So for example, we have phone numbers that are assigned to our virtual assistant, phone numbers that are assigned to our viral blog emails that are sent out, for our property management company, our career site, our office number, our custom construction signage, our sign calls, Amy's, David's, and mine, all have different phone numbers. Each one of those then gives us the ability to route those incoming calls to the people that we want it to be routed to. You could send, for example, a sign call. Let's jump into a sign call here. Let's click on Gavin Sign Calls. You could put out your sign post and hang your sign on a new listing and have those inbound calls go to not just you, but say 3 other agents on your team or other agents in your office, or say you're working with a builder, you could have the inbound sign calls go to you as well as some representative of the builder. Maybe they ring both phones at the same time. Maybe they go to you, and then if you don't answer, it goes to them to increase the likelihood that someone is able to pick up, right? So you're able to customize how those inbound calls are routed, and therefore you can measure and track how many calls are missed, and as well as how many calls you're getting. If you're spending all this money, say, to mail out postcards, and you put your personal cell phone number on these expired or just listed postcards or whatever they are, when the phone rings, how do you know that their call came from that postcard? Well, if you use a different phone number, it's very easy to tell that, okay? So let's talk a little bit about accountability. What's cool about CallFire and call tracking in general is how many calls came in as well as how many calls were answered. And you can track it all kinds of different ways. This is just the overview summary page here for my personal main sign panel phone number. And so you can see, some days there's 5 calls, some days there's 1 or 2 calls, some days there's none. I can see by hour of the day or day of the week how many calls came in and how many calls were answered. So for example, on Tuesdays, I've had 26 inbound sign calls and have answered 21 of them. On Wednesdays, had 23 and answered 22 of them. You can do that by time of day as well. Now you can also go into your individual call records and listen to the phone calls that came in. So if you didn't catch their name, or you didn't catch maybe what property they were calling on, or a specific question they had, you can then go back and listen to the phone call and collect all that information. Now, if you are a team leader or a broker owner, or you have an admin or whatever it is, and they answered, you can then use the recordings as quality control, ensure that they're saying the right things, use it for scripting and dialogue training, all those kind of things as well. So, you can see that a phone call had a live answer. It was a 28-second conversation. There's a 27-minute conversation in here, 10-minute conversation, right? And you can go in, click play, and listen to the phone calls. Now, call tracking also works for texts. You can route the text messages as well as get email notifications for the text messages. It's all very customizable. One of my favorite features is getting teed up on a phone call. So when someone calls our sign panel phone number, when you answer the phone, it says, "This is an inbound call from Gavin's Signs," and then it connects you with the consumer. If you're sending out expired postcards, you put in the whisper message, "This is an inbound call from your expired postcard campaign." That way, you're getting teed up and you know what frame of mind to be in when it connects you with the consumer. Versus just a cold call out of the blue. They start asking you questions and you don't know, is this a FSBO? Is it an expired? Is it a referral? Like, who are these people? How do they find me? Because that will sometimes affect, right, the language you use and perhaps how in-depth of information you want to give them, all those different kind of things. Okay, so that is a little bit of the basics of what we use call tracking for and how to use it. A system like CallFire is very easy to use. Like I said, it helps you hold yourself accountable. It helps you hold your money accountable, so you know what lead sources are generating phone calls. And then it helps you hold your agents or your admins or whoever accountable, which is an important piece, of growing a business. So there you have it. That's a little bit about CallFire, how to use call tracking. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out and I'd be happy to help.